All right, remember that caravan supposedly coming from Honduras that had grown from a few hundred to close to 2,000? We don't know what the real skinny is. We do know that it got the President of the United States concerned, and the Mexicans broke it up, or at least broke down the size of that crowd. Now, there are other caravans coming. Apparently, that's a very common theme this time of year, not only from Honduras, but other points south in Latin America as they make their way north and try to get into this country. And that's what the President of the United States says. We will be ready with troops if it comes to that. The former ICE acting director, John Sandweg. John, thank you for taking the time. Explain this caravan thing, if you don't mind. I'm told it's a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's unprecedented. It's very common. What is it?
Well, I think the caravan itself is probably not a big deal. I think it's just a high-profile way of drawing attention to some issues. Frankly, I think it's organized by some activist groups. But the bigger deal is what we've been seeing the last few years, and what looks like we're starting to see a big uptick again, and that is large numbers of migrants from Central America heading north through Mexico, arriving at our U.S. border, and then claiming political asylum in the United States. This year, the month of February, I think what's alarming the president really isn't the caravan, but it's the fact we saw about a 35% increase this February as compared to last February.
What does that tell you? Because in the case of a couple of these caravans, not just this one, but others, oftentimes authorities along various security checkpoints just move out of the way and let them go through. And I don't know how unusual or common that is, but it just struck me as odd. But what happened?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Neil. The Mexicans really have a porous southern border, and not a lot of motivation to actually enforce it. It's expensive. It's a very difficult border, similar to our border. It's very actually quite long, very difficult terrain. It's something that we spent a lot of time with when I was at DHS and at ICE, talking to the Mexicans about doing a better job securing their southern border. But look, the Central Americans, by and large, are just passing through Mexico, and Mexico's not all that motivated to stop them. Obviously, that would be a big help to the United States in keeping these people from ever getting to our border.
The president, if he does, to your point early on, want to get troops on the border, how would that differ from the personnel we have there now? And couldn't it risk heating up the situation?
Yeah, it can. I mean, Neil, look, President Obama, and I was involved in this in 2010, we deployed the National Guard to the border. President Bush deployed the National Guard to the border. So in and of itself, they can be a very effective force multiplier. But what's really strange about the Central Americans, what people need to understand, is that this is different than in 2010 and what President Bush was dealing with, where you had people from Mexico trying to evade capture. The Central Americans, and frankly, probably largely coached by the smugglers that they pay to bring them up, are actually surrendering to the U.S. So they're not trying to evade capture. They walk up and flag down Border Patrol officers, or even just walk across a port of entry and surrender to the officers in the U.S. and say, I want political asylum. And so, honestly, look, I understand the symbolism of the Guard, and it sends a big, powerful message. Right. But what it's not going to do is fix this problem. And it's a complex issue that really boils down to we'd never have hired enough judges to kind of merit out the real political asylum claims from the fake ones. And the process just takes way too long. And that's the crux of the issue that needs to be solved. It's not a problem of catching people. The Border Patrol catches them very well. It's a problem of processing them after they've been caught.
John, thank you very, very much. John Sandweg, I should say, the former ICE acting director, knows of what he speaks.